Welcome back as we count down to Halloween. We're reopening some of the country's unexplained cold cases that rocked communities and left many still looking for answers. One America's Carl Hensley looks into the 1977 Girl Scout murders that left 3 young girls dead just a day after they made their way to summer camp, and the identity of their killer unknown.
Since the late 1920s, Camp Scott in northeastern Oklahoma was a retreat for Girl Scouts to play, learn, and grow in the great outdoors. But on the night of June 13, 1977, it was the scene of a grisly murder that left 3 girls dead and a community terrified. The victims, 8-year-old Lori Farmer, 9-year-old Michelle Gousset, and 10-year-old Doris Milner, were killed in their sleep as their friends and camp counselors slept just a few feet away. They had arrived just the day before they were killed and were getting ready for a 2-week trip at the camp with their friends. A counselor found all 3 bodies scattered along a trail leading to the camp showers, wrapped in their sleeping bags. The rest of the girls were sent home without being told much, but learned of the murders when they reunited with their parents, who were praying their daughters were not killed. But a dark mark started growing at the camp 2 months prior to the killings. During a training session for camp counselors, a tent was ransacked. Left behind was a handwritten note with a prophetic message warning 3 campers would be murdered. That note was dismissed as a prank and thrown in the trash. Other events leading up to the girls' arrival came to light during the investigation, and Lori Farmer's mother said if she knew what was going on, she would never let her daughter go.
If I had known a tent had been slashed the night before Lori was to get on the bus to go, I would have never let her go.
But after the bodies of the 3 young girls were found the morning after they were beaten, strangled, and sexually assaulted, that note was the only clue to the killer. And as the investigation started in the following days and news crews gathered at the campsite, authorities found more details about what happened. On inspection of the tent, investigators determined Gousset and Farmer had been beaten and killed inside, and Milner was taken into the woods and then murdered. They also found blood on the tent's wooden floor was wiped up by the alleged killer with mattress covers and towels in an unsuccessful attempt to hide the evidence. The bloody materials were then stuffed in the girls' sleeping bags.
I would not have stayed in the tent Lori was in as an adult. I would not have stayed there. I would have been frightened.
Clues found in the nearby woods also led investigators to this man, Gene Leroy Hart. Hart, a Cherokee Indian, had been at large since 1973 after escaping from the Mays County Jail. He was previously convicted of kidnapping and raping 2 pregnant women, as well as 4 counts of first-degree burglary. He was arrested within a year of the murders and was tried in March of 1979. Although the local sheriff said he was certain Hart was guilty, a local jury acquitted him. They also said there was no way he could have acted alone. Hart remained a person of interest, but while lawsuits were being filed and DNA was tested, he died from a heart attack while sitting in a jail cell for his previous crimes. And with his death, the case grew cold as no one else was linked to the heinous murders. One American News reached out to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation to get more answers. However, our calls went unanswered. But even as recently as 2013, evidence and DNA have continually been submitted for testing. All results have come back inconclusive. Since the bloody massacre nearly 40 years ago, Camp Scott has been closed down. It's now on private property, and no Girl Scout has ever spent a night at the same campsite where 3 of their sisters were murdered. But questions still surround the case for those who want answers and to find the killer who disappeared into the Oklahoma woods.
As a parent of a child who was murdered, the hardest thing for me is to accept that I let her go into that situation.
Carl Hensley, One American News.